What's going on, guys? It's Cal here from Buffalo Sports Center. Today we are making our Week 13 NFL picks. Happy Thanksgiving to everyone out there who is watching. Let's start with our Thanksgiving games. Again, kind of a weak slate this year, unfortunately. But the first game, we have the Chicago Bears going into Detroit to take on the Lions. How could I pick against the Lions? The Lions have just been such a great team so far this season. That defense is amazing. That offense, their run game has just been phenomenal, and then their run game opens up their pass game, and the Lions are just such a complete team this year with Dan Campbell at the helm. So I got to pick the Lions here. Sorry, Bears fans, but I think your season pretty much comes to an end this week. Moving on, we have the Giants going into Dallas to take on the Cowboys. Again, the Giants look terrible with DeVito at QB. The Cowboys, they're looking all right. So I'm going to take the Cowboys here. I think the Cowboys get their, traditional Thanksgiving win. It's been a little bit, so I think the Cowboys need a win here. So Cowboys, maybe potentially saving some big, firings or, something that would have happened if the Cowboys lose this game. I think they win this game and kind of keep everyone sane over there in Dallas for one more week. And our last game on Thanksgiving, we have the Miami Dolphins going into Lambeau. It's going to be cold to play the Packers at 8:20. I got to pick the Packers. I know the Dolphins are starting to heat it up a little bit, but last week, again, you beat the Patriots, so it's not really that impressive of a win. And the Packers are coming off a demolition of the 49ers. So by strength of win there, pretty much an equal margin, I got to take the Packers. I think the Packers are the hotter team right now. But the Dolphins could be on upset alert. It's just going to be tough because they're playing in such cold weather in Lambeau. Moving on to our Black Friday game. Again, one game on Friday this week. We have the Las Vegas Raiders heading into Kansas City to take on the Chiefs. Now, Gardner Minshew is out for the rest of the season. If he was playing, I'd maybe consider the Raiders because, the Chiefs have just been weak in every single one of their wins. But I'm going to pick the Chiefs again to narrowly defeat the Raiders. I just think this Chiefs team, they're going to get exposed in the playoffs, no doubt about it. But as of right now, again, you can't kind of rain on their parade. They win games, and I think they're going to win another one on Friday. Moving on to our Sunday slate, our first game, Texans-Jaguars. This is the 1 o'clock slate. I got to pick the Texans here. Again, Jacksonville has just been an absolute dumpster fire this entire season. One of the worst teams I've seen in quite some time in the NFL. So I have to pick the Texans in this one. Moving on, Colts at Patriots. I'm picking the Colts. I think the Colts get it rolling again. Again, they're coming off a loss to the Lions, but the Lions, like I said earlier, are such a complete team. Meanwhile, the Patriots coming off getting smoked by the Dolphins. I get the Patriots are at home. It's going to be cold, but the Colts are going to be ready for it. Give me the Colts in that one. Next game, we have the Los Angeles Chargers going to Atlanta to take on the Falcons. The Chargers, again, coming off a loss to the Ravens, kind of expected it. The Chargers have just been kind of mid all year. The Falcons, kind of the same story, right? You don't know which version of that team you're going to get. I'll take the Chargers on the road, though, to bounce back after a tough loss against the Ravens. Next game, we have the Seahawks going into MetLife to take on the Jets. I'm taking the Seahawks. I just think the Jets are in disarray. I think that building is going to be looking quite differently next season. And I'm not just talking about the front office that's already gotten wiped. I'm talking about the team that's on the field. I think they're ready to blow it up and start over, which is unfortunate for Jets fans because they have a ton of talent on that field. It's just they don't seem to mesh well at all, and you're going to be probably without a quarterback after this year. Next game, we have the Titans going into Washington to take on the Commanders. I think the Commanders bounce back from that devastating loss last week, and they pick up a win against the Titans. However, the Titans are coming off quite a game themselves, playing the Texans last week, and kind of shocking the world there. But I have to take the Commanders here. I think that was kind of a fluke for the Titans, and I think the Commanders bounce back. Next game, we have a nice divisional game here. The Steelers going into Cincinnati to take on the Bengals. Again, I'm going to take the Steelers on the road. I think the Steelers, they just lost the Browns, but I think there's no way they lose two divisional games in a row, right, to weaker teams. The Bengals, again, kind of like the Falcons and Chargers. You don't know what version of them you're going to get. I think they show up a little bit in the first half, but I think the Steelers hang on in a close one. Next game, and the last one of the 1 o'clock slate, we have the Cardinals going into Minnesota to take on the Vikings. Give me the Vikings here, but close. I really haven't liked the Cardinals all season long. Kind of towards the beginning of the season, they looked like they were putting up a lot of points, just couldn't get the defense. Then it kind of switched to vice versa. And the Cardinals just look like a weak team now. They look kind of defeated towards the end of the season. So I'm going to take the Vikings there to pick up a big win. Now the 4 o'clock slate, we have the Los Angeles Rams going into the Superdome to take on the New Orleans Saints. I will take the Rams here on the road. I think the Rams need this game a little bit more than the Saints. The Rams are still fighting for that division, so give me the Rams here against the Saints. And the Saints are very banged up as well. They've been banged up for, the second half of the season. Again, the Saints started off as one of the hottest teams in the league, and ever since it just has not gone their way. Next game, we have the Buccaneers heading into Carolina. I got to give Carolina credit. They put up a fight against the Chiefs, but we all knew they were going to come up on the short end in that one, and I think they lose this one as well. Give me the Buccaneers here. Panthers are just not a very good team, and good teams can expose their weaknesses. Next game, we have the Eagles going into Baltimore to take on the Ravens. This could be the game of the week. Again, both these teams coming off wins. The Eagles have been hit or miss all season, but kind of so have the Ravens, right? The Ravens' losses are very bad losses, but when they win, they have some really marquee wins. So I am going to take the Ravens at home. I think they just edge this one out. Very close game, though, in that 4 o'clock slate. Then we move to Sunday Night Football. We have the San Francisco 49ers going into Buffalo to take on the Bills. Again, if both teams were fully healthy, I'd consider taking the Niners, but the Niners are just too banged up. I don't even know if Brock Purdy's playing, so I have to take the Bills in this one. Again, a team coming fresh off a bye week should be able to handle a 49ers team that, they're kind of in a chaos state right now where they might miss the playoffs, and that was definitely not an expectation. So they got to get their stuff together quick. And the 49ers need this game more, but I think the Bills are more prepared. Ending this week with Monday Night Football, we have the Cleveland Browns in Denver to take on the Broncos. Listen, I know the Browns just had a big win, but I have to take the Broncos in this one. I think the Broncos need this game. They're hanging around that playoff window, and the Cleveland Browns, they won, but it was a snow game last week. So I think if we go back to regular temperatures and regular weather, I think the Broncos win. But it is in Denver, and it can get snowy in Denver. So we might have a potential Browns snow game yet again. But let me know in the comment section which games you guys will be watching, if you agree, disagree with some of my picks. And have a great Thanksgiving, guys. Have a good one.